In this video, I am going to show you how to create Alexa skills for your open houses and for walkthrough tours for buyers when they're with their real estate agents touring your properties. I'm going to answer a couple questions off the bat that some folks have had. The first being, do you need to have the actual Alexa console, the larger console, in order to be able to utilize this? And the answer is no, you do not. I only have Echo Dots, and right now they're on sale. This is Cyber Monday, but all weekend they've been on sale for $19.99. So I've been purchasing those, and I have one in my house that I've been using as a test. So you don't have to have the larger console. Another question that somebody asked me is when they're utilizing the dot in their listing and they've created skills for people to go through and ask questions. If somebody were to ask other questions like to pull up your calendar or your email or anything, is that connected? And the answer is no, it's not connected unless you connect it. So for example, with mine, it's not connected. So if they were to say, Alexa, open up my calendar, then Alexa's going to say, I don't understand what you're talking about. So there's no issues there. Another thing is there are other ways to be able to create Alexa skills. The one that I'm using today is a program called Invocable. Invocable is a paid service. It costs $99 a month. There are some other free ones out there. The reason why I like Invocable so far is because I can create an unlimited number of skills for the price that I'm paying, and I don't have any limitations or restrictions that I've found with it so far. Some of the free services out there, you either have to know coding in order to be able to do it. They're not as user-friendly as Invocable is, or they have limitations where you can create a response, but you can't create further. You can't go further by having yes or no's and then asking extended questions, which you're going to see here in this video. So I guess it really depends on what you're looking to do. I like Invocable so far because it is all set up. It automatically is going to connect to the Alexa developer console, and it's going to be ready to go and immediately use. So that's why I'm utilizing this. So there are two things that you're going to have in place if you're utilizing this. First of all, no matter what platform you're using, you're going to need to go to Alexa developer console, and you're going to have to create an account, and those accounts are free. So once you do that, you create an account, then you're going to have your console here. So that's one thing that you have to do. Again, you're going to have to utilize your existing Amazon account unless you create a new one, but no, it won't connect to all of your calendars and stuff. At least with the email that I'm using, it's not doing it. So then the second thing is you need to go to invocable.com if you want to utilize this. You can do a 14-day trial to test this out. If you do want to actually pay for it, they've got the $99, and it's a visual drag and drop editor, which is what I really have liked so far. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and sign in. So you'll create your account, and when you log in here, they'll have some examples of different Alexa skills that have been built. And I've got some in here that I'm going to utilize and show you. You can do different things. You can utilize these in different ways to where people are actually purchasing through this avenue, purchasing something. Obviously for this, I'm using this as an example of one of my listings where I'm going to have probably 3 to 4 dots all around the house in strategic locations where I want to be able to engage with the buyer and provide them more information than they're going to get on paper. And so an example, just to show you how this looks at the very end, here is one that I created. This is the introduction to my listing. So when somebody walks into the house, they're going to see my normal setup display, which is going to have a list of the updates and features. It's going to have a flyer that they take with them on the property. But then there's also going to be an Echo Dot sitting there on the table with this writing prompt on there. Want to know more about this home and Pin Oak Village. Just say, and then it tells you the prompt. If I say it right now, my dot's going to pick it up and start talking to me. So they would say the following sentence, and then it's going to start talking to them about the property. So in the background, the way that I set this all up is with these different blocks. And so when you first start, which you're going to see from scratch, it's going to lay out a basic setup for you. And then you notice that just all of these are tagging to one or another through these different chains of commands by these arrows. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start a new Alexa skill. So once you get in here, you'll go down and you'll hit create skill. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically copy what I've done with this Breezy Bend backyard. And so I'm going to create a new skill. Now when you're creating this skill, it's important that your name be simple and succinct and don't try to go too wordy. And know that whatever name you give it right here is also going to be the invocation name. So by invocation, it means that when you ask Alexa, so for example, when I ask Alexa, what time is it?
It's 9:16 p.m.
So the invocation there was probably something to do with time. There is a word that Alexa recognizes in order to be able to give a response to me. And so for this example, I might have the Echo Dot on the backyard patio, and I'm going to call this one Backyard Oasis. And then I'm going to click Get Started. And it creates this basic skill. One of the first things I want to do is I want to go over here to Skill Set, and you can see that the public name is Backyard Oasis, and now my invocation name is Backyard Oasis. So somebody's going to have this kind of a prompt right here, and they're going to say, Alexa, launch, and then it's going to say Backyard Oasis. So that's the key word that's going to trigger Alexa to start talking, okay? All right, so this is actually going to be a pretty simple example. And the reason why it's going to be a pretty simple example is because I only want this one to do one thing. All I want it to do is for Alexa to tell them about the backyard specifically. And so where this one over here, which was the introduction when they first come into my listing, is much more in depth, and I'll show you that. I'll just show you at a basic level what something like this would be, okay? You have to have a stop block. Alexa could be talking to whoever it is, and maybe that's too wordy or they don't want to hear anymore, then they can say, Alexa, stop. And when they say, Alexa, stop, there has to be some kind of response that Alexa plays. And this is the response that you're seeing that she would currently play. And this is not what I want her to play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, and this is the stop I want her to say. No problem. Enjoy the rest of your tour. We look forward to working with you on an offer. Now, notice here how it's got some code written in for break time. Alexa will always pause when there is some kind of punctuation. So if there's a comma, a period, an exclamation point, but Alexa will not show any variance in her voice. She won't show excitement, for example, with an exclamation point. So there really is no point in me putting an exclamation point. But if I copy this code and put it in at different places, it can actually increase the amount of time that she's breaking before starting the next sentence. And so I can modify this. This is currently 1 second, obviously. So I'm just going to copy what I wrote here since I've already done it. So I go to my Backyard Oasis, and this is one of the things that you're going to change on yours as well. And so I hit the stop block, and I'm just going to paste that in there, and that's going to be her response. So when they say, Alexa, launch Backyard Oasis, then Alexa's going to start talking whatever I have here, and if they say stop, then she's going to go ahead automatically to this stop block and start playing that. So what do I want Alexa to say when they have launched when they have invoked the skill set? And since I've already written it out, I don't have to waste your time with that. I'm going to go ahead to here, and this is what I modified it. So I'm going to take this whole entire thing and just copy it. Obviously, you doing this, you're going to be, writing this part from scratch. So here it is, and I'm just going to paste it in here. Now, you can see in here that I've got different break times. So I decided that I wanted a 3-second pause here, a 1-second pause here. You do not have to utilize these break times, but for me, I just wanted there to be some kind of stop between what I've written and, what the next sentence is. So, all right, so now we have that set up. Now, if they were to ask Alexa for help, it's going to go to where this arrow is. This was automatically built in. So if I go to the help block, if I want to change this, I can. I really don't have a need to. I'm just going to leave that alone. All right. So I've got my welcome block. So once she's invoked and they say, Alexa, tell me, launch the backyard oasis, she's going to go in and start saying this. And when she's done, it'll just end because I don't have anything else going here. But if they say stop, it'll come here. Now, over here with the help block, they have a yes or no option. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. When Alexa's talking here and she's at the end, go ahead and write up an offer. I may want there to be some more dialogue in this conversation. And so I would need to decide whether or not I want Alexa to continue to talk or if I want the user to be able to respond. So at the end of this, instead of go write up an offer, I may say, would you like to make an offer? So now I need to have the user respond yes or no. And I have to tell the programming, if they respond yes, what's the next thing Alexa says? And if they respond no, what's the next thing Alexa says? So in this example, I'm going to stay here on the welcome block, and I'm going to say that, so Alexa has asked the prompt, would you like to make an offer? Now, notice I can't write the prompt here. I got to click back on the welcome block, and then I can hit user. And this is going to be yes. And you can see it's here now, and it's not linked to anything. And then I'm going to click back here on the welcome block and put user and type in no. And so I have those responses. So what I need to do now is I need to create another block that says what she's going to say if she says yes. So over here on the far right hand corner of my screen, I have this create button, and I'm going to create a regular block. There are different options that you can do here. I'm keeping this simple for my purposes. You could do an audio file where it's actually you speaking. I have not delved into that yet. So I'm going to create a new block, and the name of this block has to be yes, because it's going to be a response to if the user says yes. So now that I've created this yes, I need to create some kind of response on it. So in order to do that, Alexa is going to be speaking. So over here, the user has said yes. And so now over here, I need Alexa to respond. That's terrific. Okay, obviously this is not what I say, but this is just being used as an example. So now what happens is Alexa started here, asked if they'd like to make an offer. They responded yes, and then Alexa's going to say, that's terrific. Please contact Erica Steitenroth for assistance. All right, so now I have to connect yes over to the yes block. So what I do over here is I come back to the original welcome block. I can see it's not linked, so I click on it. And now that I've created that other box over here, I can hit yes. And now it knows to come over here. For no, there's already a no block, so I could either create another no block or I can just link it to this one. So here for no, I'm going to go here to not linked, and then I'm going to have it connect to the no block. Now, once I'm done doing all of this, I'm going to upload to Alexa. And when I click on upload to Alexa, that's where Invocable is going to send this over to your Alexa developer console, and you're going to see that right in here. Now, once you see it in here, it's going to take a couple minutes for it to fully load for you to be able to test it. So I'm going to go ahead and upload to Alexa. And when this is completely done spinning, there will be a green check mark, and that's when I know that I'm all set to go. Now, while it's doing that, I'm going to go back here to Breezy Bend. This is the original one that I created for them when they first walk into the property. So here you can see that I'm telling them about the home, and it did not ask them another question immediately. I created a second prompt that said, would you like to hear more about the neighborhood? And this was an Alexa prompt, so it's automatically going to go from here to here. If they say yes, then it comes over to here. Pin Oak Village has been, and it starts talking about the subdivision. Then when it's done with this, I wanted to ask them another question. Would you like to hear more about the schools and family and children events and activities for Pin Oak Village? I asked that as a yes or no question because if it's somebody that doesn't have children, they probably don't care. So their answer is going to be no. And if their answer is no, then in the no block, I've created this that says, no problem, enjoy your tour and keep an eye out for me in other rooms of this home. If they say yes, then it's gone to another block that I created where it further talks about Pin Oak, the schools we're zoned to, and the activities that we have. And then I ended it with enjoy your tour and keep an eye out for me in other rooms. Now, that's it. I mean, it's pretty easy. If they decide to stop it, if they say, Alexa, stop, it just says enjoy your tour. So how does this all come over here onto the developer console? So we can go back here and I can see that for Backyard Oasis, it is complete now. And so I'm going to come over to the Alexa developer console and I'm going to refresh it. And now I'm going to see Backyard Oasis here. There's a couple things that I want to do before I start utilizing it. I'm going to click on it first. You're not going to mess with anything in this section, but it's telling you that all of the skill builder checklist items that you need to have into place are complete. Go over to the distribution tab up here at the top, and you need to scroll down, and there's a couple things you have to do. First of all, you need to give this a category. I have not found a category for real estate, so just choose what you think is best. Education and reference. There's some other ones in here. Home services. Okay. I don't really worry. I have no need to worry about keywords. I am not publishing this. And so to me, none of the rest of this stuff matters. What is important here are these example phrases. These are going to be the phrases that will trigger Alexa to respond to you. So either Alexa open, Alexa start, Alexa launch, and then there is that Backyard Oasis. And that Backyard Oasis, if you remember, is the public name and the invocation name that we did when we first set this up. The other thing that it wants you to have is the small icon, skill icon. And so what you need to do is you either have one of your own and it tells you the pixel size to create it, or to make it easy, just click here and it's already got some pixels built in. For real estate, I was not able to find one with a house, so what I've utilized is one that looks like a building right here, and you can download this. And then once you've downloaded it, you come here and you can either drag, drop, or notice this 108 is the 108 pixel it wants here. So I'm putting that here, and then the 512 is the pixel size it wants for this one. So I'm loading that here, and I've done that. I've done the category, so I'm going to save and continue. On this next page, the only thing that I personally am changing here is, am I collecting personal information? My answer is no. Now, at some point for an open house, if I'm utilizing this that way, I may want to get their information via Alexa, and so I might try playing around with that, but for right now, I'm putting no on this, and I'm saving. And then over here, if I go to certification, I can see that it's looking to validate and there are 0 errors found. So what I want to do now is I want to go to the test feature and I want to test this skill. Now I'm going to test it right now. It may not have finished uploading and being ready yet. So if it's not, you'll just have to bear with me and give me a second. But again, I'm going to say launch backyard oasis. So when I test it here, I can test it on my computer, and I just use my mouse and hold down this microphone. Launch backyard oasis.
Take a moment to look around and capture the beauty and privacy of your backyard oasis. The saltwater pool with pebble-check finishing was installed in 2013. It boasts travertine accents, fountains, and a heated pool and spa can be controlled manually or via an app from remote locations. Nothing was spared for your outdoor enjoyment, from the stamped concrete decking to the pergola, professionally designed landscaping, and the magnificent outdoor kitchen boasting high-end Fire Magic appliances and a built-in green egg. You'll be everyone's favorite friend, family member, and colleague as you entertain guests, or perhaps just enjoy the privacy with your family with no rear neighbors. Need I say more? Would you like to make an offer?
So notice here, you could tell where she was pausing when it came to the punctuation, and you could also tell some of the break times that she had in there as well. So that's where those things came into play. So now that was here testing it in my actual developer console. What you can't see me doing right now is I'm now going to test it from the Echo Dot that I have here in my office to make sure that it's playing this the same thing. Alexa, launch Backyard Oasis.
Take a moment to look around and capture the beauty and privacy of your backyard oasis. The saltwater.
Alexa, stop.
No problem. Enjoy the rest of your tour. We look forward to working with you on an offer.
So you can see how that invoked the stop response and how that all played out. So once it was loaded in here, it went straight over there. Guys, it's that easy. It's really not that difficult. I hope this was informative for you. I hope this was able to give you some ideas about how you may utilize this with your own listings, or really in other facets of your personal life or business. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. This is Erica Stetenroth with The Integrated Agent. I'm a real estate agent with Next Home Real Estate out in Katy, Texas.